Talking with SBR contributor John Ryan from johnryansports.com, doing our weekly football opening lines show. We just got finished talking about college football week 11. Now we're going to move on to the NFL lines for week 10. John, I looked at these lines, and there's one line that did stand out to me. I did bet it pretty heavily on opening, and I want to know if you endorse it, if the line strikes you as curious, and that's Carolina minus 3.5. I actually got it at -3, -120 over Tennessee. Tennessee just looks like they just can't beat any team that's not horrible, like Indianapolis, Cleveland, but against a decent team, they can't really compete. They had a lead and blew it last week at home. Carolina's off of a bye. 3 points, is that not enough?
It sure doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
Carolina, Cam Newton's the #2 passing quarterback in the NFL going into yesterday in terms of yards completed behind Drew Brees. So, I agree with you, Pierre. This one is very puzzling. I think this line goes from 3 to probably 4, 4.5 maybe.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll creep up to 7?
No, I rarely do you see that in the NFL anymore.
Yeah. I think Carolina -3 is a good bet, and I'm going to stick with it pretty big unless I hear some educated opinions telling me to get off of it. What do you make of Jacksonville -3 at Indianapolis? Jacksonville, of course, they're bad, but they're off a bye, and Indianapolis is just terrible. They can't hang with anyone in the NFL at the moment. -3, is that a good bet?
Well, I think that's just one you just kind of look at and stay away from. Unfortunately, in the thread this weekend, it's a good time to mention it. I finally had a losing week, Peter.
Oh, yeah?
And I went the over. We had 2 5-star losses, and then I lost the under last night. As I always say, some weeks you're the dog, and other weeks you're the fire hydrant, for lack of a better way to describe it.
All right. Well, now I feel bad. It's like when I hear you had a great week, I get enraged with jealousy. But now that I hear you had a bad week, now I feel bad. Now I want you to win again.
Well, we will, Peter. It's you know how it goes. It's we were 9-1 2 weeks ago. We gave back a little bit of the house money, and that's simply how I look at it.
But you're up overall in the thread, right?
Yeah, 63% winners.
Wow.
So to go 0-3 and still be up 63%, I'm not losing sleep.
Damn. Now I'm jealous again. All right, let's move on. Another line that caught my eye is Tampa Bay +3.5 at home. Should they really be I know I see that they're juiced a little bit now, so they probably took some action, but should they really be an underdog of that level to Houston?
This was a game where I put an opening line on my sheet as pick'em.
Right.
Tampa Bay beat the Saints at home, which is a prolific offensive attack. Houston has a very good offense, and again, I'm thinking of that game where Tampa Bay actually won the game outright against the Saints. There was a similar spread. I think they were 4. Now they're getting a little bit more respect at 3.5, but I don't see why they aren't more of a pick'em line. I think that's an even match with Tampa Bay playing at home.
You think that'll move under 3? I could see that one closing at 2.5.
Yeah, that's when I think could drop.
Yeah. And then there's 2 other lines which are almost definitely going to be stay-away games for me, but they're definitely interesting lines. One is San Francisco -3.5 at home, and we all know San Francisco, what are they, 7-0-1 or something against the spread on the year? And then the Monday night game, Minnesota, Green Bay's awesome, obviously, but Minnesota's off a bye with Adrian Peterson and Christian Ponder, 13.5. Does that strike you as a little bit too much?
Well, that line opened at 15.5 at some of the places.
Okay, I didn't even catch that.
All the way down to 13.5 now. At -110, so it's hard to imagine. I memean, Green Bay is just rolling, and they're a type of offense, as we saw yesterday. They can just score at will and quickly. So 14-point spread is basically nothing if Green Bay just starts executing. But right now, that's one that I really don't have an opinion on.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those lines where I look at it and say, 15, 14, that's too many points. And I say, oh, so do you want to bet it? And I would probably say, no. No, thanks.
Yeah, I agree. Years ago, taking the double-digit NFL dog was a very good thing to do. But now it's kind of a different story.
Yeah. All right, I think we just about covered it. Are there any other NFL lines we didn't get to that you think are interesting?
Well, the one to highlight the San Francisco game, they're 3.5-point favorites, and they get it done the ugly way, and they're winning on the road, and the team chemistry there, you can see that they're a pretty well bonded team. And the Giants are coming off that huge emotional win in New England yesterday in the last play of the game. And it could be a letdown. everybody talks about West Coast, East Coast, but it's the same distance from New York to San Francisco as it is from San Francisco to New York.
That's true. That is true.
I think the Giants are going to have their hands full with 2 consecutive road games, one being in New England and now having to go all the way out to San Francisco, playing a very confident 49ers team.
All right. I think we got it. We'll see where these lines move. Thanks so much, John, once again.
You got it, Peter. Thanks.